Beginner's Radio Communication Skills, FRS, GMRS, and Amateur Radio. In this short video we will learn about the different types of radios, licensing requirements, radio etiquette, and how you can learn more, radio types, requirements, and coverage. Know your equipment and what it will do. Citizen band radios, or CB radios, do not need a license, nor do they need any fees or testing to use, and have a range of 2 to 20 miles. FRS radios have no fees or testing and have a range of 1/4 to 1/2 miles. GMRS radios requires a license, a $35 fee, do not require a test, and will transmit 10 to 25 miles. Your GMRS license covers your whole family and is good for 10 years. An amateur, or ham radio, does require a license with a $15 fee and a 35-question test. However, ham radio operators have worldwide coverage. Two-way radio etiquette. Learning to speak the language. It's important to get familiar with the etiquette of two-way radio communication. This will help improve your overall experience when using your radio. To make radio communication go more smoothly, over the years certain rules, or etiquette, have been established. In the following I have outlined the basic etiquette a radio user should understand. Basic radio etiquette rules. When using a two-way radio, you cannot speak and listen at the same time, as you can with a phone. Don't interrupt if you hear other people talking. Wait until their conversation is finished unless it is an emergency. If it is an emergency, inform the other parties that you have an urgent emergency message. Do not respond if you aren't sure the call is for you. Wait until you hear your call sign to respond. Never transmit sensitive, confidential, financial or military information. Unless you are certain your conversations are secured with the proper level of encryption for the level of sensitivity, assume others can hear your conversations. Perform radio checks to ensure your radio is in good working condition. Ensure the battery is charged and the power is on. Keep the volume high enough to be able to hear calls. Regularly make radio checks to make sure everything is working and that you are still in range to receive signals. Memorize call signs, locations and persons you communicate with regularly. In radio communication you are not called by your name. Everybody has his or her own unique call sign. Think before you speak. Decide what you are going to say and to whom it is meant for. Make your conversations as concise, precise, and clear as possible. Avoid long and complicated sentences. If your message is long, divide it into separate shorter messages. Do not use abbreviations unless they are well understood by your group. Speaking the language. General terms and meanings. Radio check. What is my signal strength? Loud and clear, or scratchy, or broken, respond as appropriate. Go ahead. You are ready to receive transmission. Stand by. You acknowledge the other party, but I am unable to respond immediately. Roger, or 10-4. Message received and understood. Negative. Same as no. Affirmative. Same as yes. Avoid yup or nope as they are difficult to hear. Say again. Retransmit your message. Over. Your message is finished. Out. All conversation is finished, you are signing off and the channel is clear for others to use. Break, break, break. You are interrupting in the middle of communication because you have an emergency. Read you loud and clear. Response to radio check. Your transmission signal is good. Come in. You are asking the other party to acknowledge they hear you. Copy. You understand what was said. Wilco. Means I will comply. Repeat. Used when repeating something. Example, I require 5 gallons, repeat 5 gallons of diesel. Mayday. Distress call. Repeat 3 times, and again after each transmission. These terms can be combined such as, Roger Wilco, means I understand and will comply, or, over and out, means, I've finished talking and I'm signing off. Making a call. Follow these easy steps to make a call. 1. First, listen to ensure the channel is clear for you. 2. Press the PTT, push to talk, button. 3. After 2 seconds, say recipient's call sign twice followed by this is, your call sign. Once the person replies, convey your message. Here's a typical radio conversation. You.
Papa November 1, Papa November 1, this is Oscar 03, come in, over.
Recipient.
Oscar 03, this is Papa November 1, go ahead, over.
You.
I require 5 gallons, repeat 5 gallons of diesel. Over.
Recipient.
This is Papa November 1, Roger Wilco, over.
You.
This is Oscar 03, over and out.
Did you notice how at the beginning and end of the transmission you pronounce your call sign? Because there can sometimes be many people listening on the frequency, pronouncing your call sign, and the call sign of the party you're calling, lets everyone know who the transmission is for. Communicating this way might feel a little odd at first, but you'll soon get used to it. With practice it will start to feel natural. Emergency calls. If you have an emergency message and need to interrupt others' conversations, wait and listen until you hear over. Press PTT and say break, break, break. This is your call sign. I have emergency traffic for recipient's call sign. Do you copy? Over. Communication networks. Nets, and roll call. What is a net? The word net is short for network. Networks can be defined as groups of equipment, individuals, and/or agencies acting together to increase efficiency and effectiveness through shared information and resources. Nets are operated during an emergency situation to capture, record, hold, and distribute information so that others may produce results, more effectively. The purpose of any net is to provide a means for orderly communication within a group of stations. In a directed net, a net control station, NCS, organizes and controls all activity. Directed nets are the best format when there are a large number of member stations, 1 to 45. Nets are either directed, formal, or undirected, informal or open. Types of nets. Directed nets. A directed net is formal, has a set of rules or net directives. All communications must go through net control. It has a specified person in charge, the net control station, NCS. The NCS will issue specific instructions on how he or she wants the net to run. A directed net is one in which it is necessary to obtain permission from the NCS before transmitting to other stations in the net. Directed nets are divided into two types, scheduled and emergency nets. Scheduled nets have fixed times, frequencies and format. Emergencies are nearly always recognized and declared by agencies or authorities outside of the amateur radio service. There are many other kinds of nets. ARES nets, Amateur Radio Emergency System, ARES, nets are open to any licensed amateur radio operators. RACES nets, Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Service, nets. Club nets, most of the time, they are run as a directed net in a relaxed atmosphere. Emergency nets, emergency may be defined as an accident or crisis where people and/or property are in distress. Skywarn nets are usually run under the ARES flag. Tactical nets are used for real-time coordination of activities related to the emergency. Command nets are encountered in all large disasters or emergencies. Roll call. Practice net. The beginning of a directed net will start with a request for any emergency traffic, then announcements and bulletins of interest. Roll call will begin after the first steps just mentioned. During roll call the net control operator will go down a list of call signs one at a time announcing their geographical locations and give everyone a chance to check in. This will be the time for responding stations to announce additional items of interest such as conditions on the ground in their particular location, such as weather, power outages, road closures and more. This is considered a training exercise so that all participants can become familiar with how a directed net works and get comfortable with their radio equipment and radio etiquette. Participating and practicing in a directed net is an important training tool for when the day arrives that you will need these skills. During an emergency situation a directed net will be used in the same manner as the practice net to send and receive critical information. To learn more, visit TCARES. Tuolumne County Amateur Radio and Electronics Society. https://cares.net. Or, CARS. Calaveras Amateur Radio Society, Incorporated. https://calaverazars.org